Got the best coaches in the game. We really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block. Helmets, casket is got. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision. We got too many. Get your check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
Where's my face? I demand to know. Where's my face in that preview video? Come on, man. We got some pretty mugs here. We need to get ourselves some FaceTime.
What the hell?
That's insane to me. We need more. We need more FaceTime.
I took that personally.
Welcome in, everybody. As you know, MLB DFS Army Lock Show. You got me, you got Tat today. We're going to dive in, and we're probably do pretty similar to what we did yesterday, unless y'all stop us in the chat. I think that helped out a lot, and I think that Tattoo can provide a little bit of different nuance when it comes to the single entry stuff and kind of angle off of where Darth and I go. Darth and I think a lot alike. Tattoo, small field GPP guy. Razzle, big time MME guy. That methodology might be a little bit crazy for Razzle, only because he gets so deep into the DS and all the iterations and all the different reruns and stuff. It's a hard methodology to teach without already being a VIP where you can really take the time and go through the Discord and spend the time, which he obviously gives and invests in the community. So that's great. That's what that, MLB Live code is for people that are just now tuning in case you're catching us for the first time. But Tattoo buddy, what you got going on today?
Excuse me.
Little coffee cough. Did you just freeze on me? I think he froze on me. Well, while we wait for the technical difficulties to rectify themselves, that's a good pause on his face, by the way. He looks like I just said something that blew his mind. Hopefully he comes back. I hope I don't have to pause here and then kick him out and bring him back in. But my point is he's going to be running the show on Friday with Razzle for you guys that are out there. I have on short notice been called away to a bachelor party, first one in decades, where my daughter's fiance is renting a lake house, renting a boat, all that kind of stuff, and we're going to go down there and have fun. I thought it was next week, but it is this week. And sorry for the dual thing. I'm going to wait for Tattoo to come back in here. I'm sure he will. He has the link to join the studio, so when he gets back in here, I'm sure it'll work out. And if I see my little Discord indicator down here pop up, I may bounce away for a second to talk to him one-on-one. But anyway, that's where I will be. And we were just kind of talking back and forth. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's back. Got to add him to the stage. He's back.
Technical difficulties with the laptop, so we're going mobile.
Going mobile. Well, I was just filling people in really quickly on you'll be doing the show Friday with Razzle. I've got a bachelor party that I'm going to partake in, so I will be mentally unstable. What you got there?
Black Rifle energy drink. Pretty good.
There's the same people that do the coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard they've got pretty good coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so.
So you would not know.
Yeah, before I got throttled by the government, releasing too much information.
The government, yeah.
I was saying it's so hot outside, but when you got something that's cool.
How hot is it?
It's hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock.
That's my line. I love that line.
But
it's either hotter than two rats fucking, or it's colder than a witch's titty. It's one of the two. Yeah. Never an in between. So anyway, I asked you what you got going on since they already know my business, why don't you tell them yours?
Besides technical difficulties, not a whole lot. I've been took some time off. We had the All-Star break last week, and I ended up coming back sooner than I thought. So I've just been trying to take it easy. I'm going to cut some grass and hit the gym tonight and just be lazy and watch some baseball.
Is it hot or wet up there?
Hot as shit.
Okay, because I didn't know if you're on that ring of fire where all those storms are floating around up there. Down here, it's hot as balls. It's I think feels like 110 outside right now. You know what? That's a good comment question, to be honest with you. I got more trivia going through my head, but that's a good comment for all you guys out there in comment land is how hot is it where you are? Because some of us, it's not too bad, but a lot of us are sitting under that dome in the center of the country, and it's hot. It is hot as like 4 rats fucking in a wool sock. It's like an orgy going on. These dudes, it's crazy. I saw a heat index that feels like temperature down in the boot heel of Missouri at 128 earlier today. That's nasty stuff, man. Like, I don't even know how I would go outside and not pass out.
Yeah, we had our rain like last week and, let my grass get 20 feet tall. So now we're in the week of no rain.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the way it's going here. It's not going to rain for a while. Kind of segues us in really pretty well to checking out if I could get these they were popped up, man. They were popped up. I don't know where they went. But let's get the weather station up and let's take a peek at that bad boy. See how hot it is everywhere else. Because if there's anything what in the hell?
Yeah, I wouldn't say much to worry about today.
Is the website down for you or something? Is that part of our technical difficulties? There we go. What in the God's green earth was that? There we go. What's up?
Thing yesterday, trying to get in to help Fling out, and like everything was just dry.
Yeah. It's probably too hot for the servers. And maybe that's where Geek hit them while he buried them in some silo out in western Kansas or some shit. Out there with all his nuclear testing devices. 20% rain delay. Atlanta, 20% rain delay in Tampa. That's pretty standard for those areas. But I got nothing otherwise. A lot of 80s and 90s on that map. So I think we've got our marching orders there. We don't worry about squat. Dive into carnage. But I'd probably rather go domination station. You want to do FanDuel today?
Sure.
Why don't we do that? We haven't done FanDuel for a long time. It's ever. Y'all in the comments, you want 5 lineups or 10? Only 89 feels like 97. Damn right. 5 or 10 lineups, boys. Let me know. That's what we'll do. But optimal mode, 1 unique. We'll cut out the bottom ends of that order. Cut that little 0 out of there too. And then we're just going to go start at the old 200. And it probably won't do it on FanDuel. Oftentimes it does not. Oh, it did. So we'll go 250 just to show the process again, like we were showing yesterday. This is just basic cash game 101. Getting yourself something set. Make that a little bigger for everybody. Getting yourself set once at 2. Let's try 225 and see what happens. That ought to probably do it. Just getting yourself set up to see kind of what the optimizer likes and what all the ownership. The slider is forcing ownership into the lineup. It's forcing it to be a more and more and more chalky or more and more popular build, whereas the right side is what you would use to make it a less chalky build. You'd set it under 200. Under one way to do this in baseball, 225 is our number for chalk. Then if you're building for tournament lineups, you could set that thing good 75% or even half under. Start at 130, maybe you do 170. Set your cap on the right side at that with the left side at 0, and then you'll be building all low-owned lineups no matter what you do. And that's another way to go for tournaments and stuff. But for cash games, head-to-heads, 50-50s, maybe triple-ups, things like that, set that slider on the left and creep him over as far as you can, start cutting that stuff off. And when it shuts down, you're building too chalky of a lineup, so you back it off a smidge, boom, you get a few lineups, 5 or 10. Like we said, 5 lineups is great. 10's a nice round number. We'll go both ways.
You go both ways?
We'll go both ways. I didn't even get to show anybody that because I was on that stupid Carnage Report page because the weather station kicked me off and put me onto something else. But anyway, there's the setup for everybody. Sorry for my amateur controls. 225 is the number tonight. We started at about 200, had to inch it up until it shut down. Like I was saying before, for tournaments, now that 225 is the number, this number can be a 0, and this number can be 170, 130, 140, somewhere in there. And that's going to force lower owned lineups into your builds. Even if you're stacking chalk, it's going to force the lower owned players in some of those lineups into your lineups. That's one way to go. These are very, very basic methodologies that help people get kind of caught up to speed or brought up to a certain level of competitiveness very, very quickly. If your game is struggling, this is something that can turn you around. And then, like I said yesterday, you can add to it from there. You can get a little fancier with cheat sheets and with tools and your own research and the coaches and the conversations inside Discord. That's what's going to push you into the more nuanced things. But this very, very baseline stuff, this is producing cash game lineups. And Luzardo's your chalk pitcher probably at 31% owned. You're going to have Aranda, Westberg, Seager, Simpson. These guys are all kind of like core plays for cash, not for tournaments, for cash, because they're all very, very popular plays. Everybody sees the Rays. Everybody sees, Westerberg probably up at the top of the order, for cheap. And so they're taking the value there, yada, yada, yada. Looking through these lineups, you're just going to pick one. Maybe you don't like this lineup. Scroll down a little bit more. Maybe you like this one a little bit more. Maybe you don't. Scroll down a little bit more. There's 2 Orioles and 3 Yankees. That's fine. That's a small stack. Stacking increases variance. It's not great for cash games, but when the optimizer pushes you in a direction, oftentimes you go with it. 2 there, and that backs you down to the Rays instead of the Yankees. So if you like Yankees better than Rays, you would have chosen that other lineup. There's one that's a little more balanced. 3 Rays, 2 Orioles, 2 Yankees, Corey Seager. Not bad. You see any problems with any of those off the top of your head, Tat? You're not frozen on me again, are you? He gone. There he is. I need verbal cues. How long you been gone?
Maybe 30 seconds.
Okay. I was looking at DS and trying to walk people through that really, really quickly, and you vanished on me. But did you see anything wrong with any of those lineups I was scrolling through? You want me to scroll through? Really. You want me to scroll through them again for you real quick?
Yeah.
Start at the top, and Luzardo is going to be your cash game pitcher probably. And then you've got Aranda, Westberg, Seager, Simpson. These types of guys are going to be very, very popular. So this first lineup, you got 2 Yankees and 2 Rays with Corey Seager. If you don't like that, of course, you can come down a little bit further. You get 3 Rays and a bunch of one-offs. This next lineup here picked up 2 Orioles with 3 Yankees. Then you've got 2 Rays, 2 Orioles. And this bottom one was a 3-3-2. It was 3 Rays, 2 Orioles, 2 Yankees. I don't mind this one for hybridized lineups like 100-man leagues, maybe even small field GPPs. Do you see any just underlying flaws with any of those lineups that you wouldn't use?
Not really.
And that,
not from what I can see.
And that's how you do it. I mean, cash, done. We don't even need to talk about cash anymore, chalk anymore, any of that. We can start talking about pivots. If these are your core players and you know that the optimizer is sort of tending to gravitate towards Tampa, some Baltimore, some New York, and Luzardo as a pitcher, where's your first pivot in some single entry GPP? I know somebody in the comments mentioned $121 entry contest. Where would you go?
We're talking FanDuel or
Probably FanDuel. I mean, again, the skill sets transfer between sites really, really well. It's the 1 pitcher, 2 pitcher thing. But since we always talk DraftKings, I figured we'll talk FanDuel today.
Let's see. If I wanted to quick pivot off the chalky stuff for a stack, Dodgers aren't too bad. Let's see. I mean, the Cubs, again, have low ownership, and they're right Up there with the implied total over 6. And basically, I mean, oh no, they're right in that clump.
Yep.
I mean, so
Dodgers and Cubs, lower ownership than the Cardinals again. I'm surprised there aren't more Cardinals in. Well, this is the DraftKings side. Let's get the FanDuel side of the leverage stacks up. That makes a difference. So,
and the Mets.
Tampa, New York, Baltimore. That's why when we're forcing the chalk into our lineup, that's why we're landing on those teams. So you might be looking at, well, LA's not on the slate. So you might want to adjust a little bit. It's a smaller slate on FanDuel today than DraftKings, obviously. But I'm looking any of these guys in the lower end of here, Texas, Cleveland. You might not want Cleveland, but if they go off, you'll generate some leverage with them. But Texas probably would be one of the first areas I'd look for a stack. I don't know that I'd go down Oakland, Boston, Toronto. I mean, they can. But if you see something like this with 3 teams that are kind of similar in popularity, and Philly is not that far behind, and then, of course, Cleveland's not that far behind that, and then Texas isn't that far behind that, would you pivot off Luzardo first? Or would you eat him?
If I needed the money, I would consider taking Bradley. Because that's a $1,500 difference.
Check the Carnage Report 2. Luzardo 8,500, 97 versus 9,000. So that's 700 on DK or on FanDuel. I'm going to get my abbreviations mixed up. Corbin has the K score. It's interesting. Corbin's got K score by a lot. Corbin, FanDuel, 7,800. He's facing the Oakland Athletics, and he's got the K score for the strikeout upside. That might be one of the first pitchers I look at. How do you feel about Patrick Corbin? Would you save that for larger field stuff, or are you safe enough with him that you might put that in a smaller field tournament?
On DK, I would probably use him as a SP2 or something. Absolutely. I mean, Oakland's got a lot of power. So
yeah,
they can, but they can strike out a lot. So, yeah, I would use him as a SP2, but I don't know, hell. I'd probably take a shot. Depends on how high dollar it is,
Right. Well, if you're building one, well, if you're building 3 max, you might put him in a lineup or 2. If you're building just one lineup, single entry, one lineup, I don't know, 50 players, something like that. If you're pivoting off Luzardo, which you probably aren't, but if you are, you'd go to Bradley probably before a Corbin or a Fried.
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, me personally, I'm just this kind of guy nowadays. I look at this, and I know Taj Bradley is targeting Chicago, which is a good target. But again, with all those stacks, I need to get significantly different somewhere if my GPP is 50, 100 or more. I'm probably taking it off of Luzardo, hoping that he fails. And me personally, would probably just ride the lightning with Corbin and hope I get a big strikeout day out of the Athletics. And I might just chalk up the rest. That might be what I do. You would go Taj Bradley.
Yeah, I would even take Slade Pepperoni.
Oh, okay.
I mean, come on, Baltimore is struggling,
I like the idea behind that as well, because if the optimizer likes putting Baltimore in our lineups,
we know a lot of people are going to have them, and they're not going to have Slade.
Correct. And so if you take him, you get him at low ownership, you double dip. And if he negates the offense in Baltimore, which hasn't been too hard to do so far this year, then you've kind of double dipped on your leverage there. Sharp.
Yeah.
Sharp idea.
Large field, I'd play Zach Eflin, But, yeah, I mean, no need in a small field to, especially on FanDuel, to get fancy. So,
yep.
Probably only 3 to 4 pitchers maybe you should probably be thinking about on FanDuel if you're doing single entry.
We've got Andres calling us the MLB poker and NHL goats. That is, love it. I love. You can call me goat all you want. I'll let you. Chuck is
Throw
saying
hockey in there for me, make me feel better about myself.
Chuck is saying he has serious trust issues in the Lizard. The 2 times he's used him as SP1, the games were in negative points. That's pretty rough. But I'll tell you this, Chuck. If you didn't catch you probably didn't. I think we were talking behind the scenes, me and you. Last night, DeGrom and Gilbert weren't really trustworthy people, were they? But they did okay.
Made me money.
So, I mean, when you're looking at those guys, definitely. Sometimes it's just time to eat the chalk. Like I said, I'm looking to get different somewhere else. I'd probably get different in my stacks or in my pitcher tonight than my stacks because the stacks are all running about the same ownership. That's just how I look at things. Dodgers and Cubs aren't on the FD slate. Thank you, Harlock. Do you guys recommend focusing on one FanDuel or DraftKings or playing both? That's your question, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's anything
I'll sit here and shuffle my cards.
adverse to playing both. You just have to remember they score differently, and wins are weighted much higher on FanDuel, and I mean it's a completely different scoring system.
Would you start off with one so you feel like you're pretty comfortable and then add the other, or would you just kind of stick with one over the other?
And I mean, I'm more of a DK guy anyways, just where all my action's at. Really, for me, FanDuel is like somewhere to play with the nickels and stuff and quarters. And occasionally I'll enter single entry over there. Yeah, but I mean, that's all personal preference. I mean,
I would agree. To me, that's the answers. It's personal preference. Some guys can handle dividing their focus in 2 different directions. Other people are much better on one site than the other, and so they tend to focus their energies there. But that's going to be something to experiment with, and then kind of stick with what works. It's kind of the whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it thing. Let's say I jump over on FanDuel and win, for a month, I just get on this heater. Well, I'm never leaving at that point. Yeah. I have no desire to try DraftKings and vice versa. But I think that a lot of us probably do dabble with at least both sites, especially if we're doing any kind of content coverage or anything, just to kind of keep our finger on the pulse of the sites.
Yeah, I feel bad if I'm writing FanDuel notes and I'm not ever playing there. So, I like to, like you said, dip your toes in it, keep your finger on it, and see what it takes to win over there,
Yep. Don says, hello, boys. So, hello, Don. Says Tampa Bay has to be number 1. I don't know. Maybe. They're certainly facing Cannon. And you're looking at a pretty damned high carnage number with big X-Woba and big ISO. Totally get it. So once again, if they're popular and that's where you're going to go, then you're going to have to look for either pitching or your second stack or something like that to get a little bit different. If you're in those, GPP type things, if you're in cash, just eat it because they're all in good spots in cash. Peter Porker, what do you think of the White Sox in that park as a stack and think that Bradley blows up? What do you think, buddy? You said you played a couple White Sox last night, right?
Yeah. I mean, large field, yeah. I have no problem with the White Sox. It's definitely something that could happen, but I'm not going to probably get that cute in my, single entries or anything.
Well, let's look back.
But they've been hitting, the White Sox have been hitting, and I mean, that's the stadium to do it.
Says they're not generating a lot of leverage tonight. I almost don't believe that. If the White Sox go off, they got to generate leverage. let's do this. Everybody out there, hey, do you have tiers, your favorite stacks and tiers? That's probably DraftKings related.
Well, I didn't do the sheets,
Okay.
so I don't necessarily have a.
Then let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's let the comments pick our stacks, guys. Tampa's number one. We already got that one out of the way. Throw me three other stacks that you want to see us build a single entry type of lineup with and pivot off of that chalk. We already know Baltimore is popular. We know that the Yankees are probably a little bit popular in the optimizer with these ownership numbers, but we're going to go low owned. So where are you getting off? Are you getting off of Luzardo? Or are you getting off of Tampa, New York, Baltimore? I'm going to say we shouldn't probably get off of Tampa Bay. But throw me a couple of other stacks, and we'll Oakland, Yankees, Tampa Bay, Oakland. And what I'll do is I will jump into Dom Station here, hit the big reset button. And we will start over. You tell me, do you hand build or do you ever set the domination station up for single entry stuff?
Yeah, I'll set it up for single entry stuff and let it spit it out, and then I can adjust it right there. I mean, because I feel like when the DS runs it and I have the DS there, I mean, all the information is right in front of me to choose my change.
100%. How many uniques?
I don't have to look at the phone, look at the it's like, all right, I'm just right here building my lineup.
How many uniques do you use if you're building some single entry lineups? And how many lineups do you usually have it build?
I throw 3 uniques in because I'm just that's just inbred in me now. Right. That I'm a 3 uniquer. And I 3, maybe 4
lineups, or 3 or 4 uniques.
3 or 4 lineups. Because that way, I mean, just for the math, like, sure, hey, only 75% or only 50%, stuff like that.
If you don't mind, I'm going to take that one bigger and do 10 just to get some ideas. And I want to show everybody how this should work. If we take the ownership cap slider from the 900 size, you would talk about in the cash games, going from the left over, and that makes it heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier owned for cash game building. For tournaments, we can go the other way. And I have found through backtest research, all this kind of stuff, that somewhere under 75% of the major chalk number is kind of a good sweet spot for tournaments. So on my little calculator here, if you can see it, we know that 225 is about the number. I multiply that by 75%. I need to be under about 170 on the slider. So if I punch in the slider at 170, I'm going to get everything lower owned than 170, team ownership wise. 3 unique players, tournament mode, yada yada. I don't need to force any of these guys. If we wanted to throw in some randomness, we could. Do you use randomness? Do you care?
I will use it on pitchers, so it doesn't send me, give me the top 2 pitchers in every single lineup, and then in the 4th one it gives me the 2 other guys together. So I'll throw randomness on it just so it tries to mix up the pitching better.
How much do you use?
Wherever it lands.
Randomness wise?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably, somewhere between 10 and 20.
Okay. Well,
I just kind of slide it and let her eat.
Yep. Do you use any hitters randomness?
No.
Okay. I have found that 25 mixes my stacks pretty well. That's just me. Play around with it. People, 10%, 50%. I've done as much as 50%. I've taken this thing and I have gone all the way with it when I'm MMEing before and back testing, and it has its good days just like everything else. You never know when's going to be your good day. So if we're going to do the hitting stacks, we want 4x3s on FanDuel, right?
Yeah.
Exclusively, or do you ever use any other formations?
If I'm doing 150, I'll put it on 4-2 and 4x. But I mean, I have no problem with 4-2, 4-3. It's not a big difference to me.
Okay. Then let's run this at all teams for now, and then we'll come back and we'll add in what the people are hopefully putting in the comments, since I'm not looking at it right now. I just want to see what the stacks come out when you just do that. You force the lower ownership and some uniques. And let's see if it sticks with Luzardo. It goes to Fried. It pivots off Fried, Corbin, a little bit of Luzardo. That's interesting. It's worth noting. And then when you go up to your stacks, New York, Toronto, Boston, Philly, this is where it's getting its ownership. It's not using Philly or Baltimore. It's using New York. But it's got everybody available to it. And it seems to look for Boston, Tampa, New York, Tampa. It's going to use Tampa, no doubt.
Yeah.
So that gives you the idea of what it's doing when you force a little bit of lower ownership in it. Who does it like to pick up on? But again, when for our intents and purposes, we're going to hand select these guys. And we said Tampa, New York. What was the other one? Was it Oakland that somebody had mentioned in the comments? Boston's fourth in leverage. Let's do Boston, Philly, Cleveland, Texas. All good choices. All good choices. Let's do Texas and Boston just for shits and grins. That gives us another two teams, Texas and Boston. Now, I would just mirror the other side. And I'm gonna mix it a little bit with about 30% random or 30% max just to give me at least three of these teams. If you wanted to add in Cleveland, add in Toronto, you can Philly. You certainly do that over here. I know they said White Sox. You could add them in if you wanted to. Over here, I just say let's just see no more than about 40% of a main stack, and let's just get some ideas at where we want this to go at the lower ownership. This is just what I'm telling you. This is how I build my single entries. I let the optimizer give me ideas, and then I hand polish it from there. Like I might go through these, and who do we like? You got Giolito, which I'm not a big confident Giolito type of guy. Would he have made your list tonight?
Not on FanDuel.
Maybe as an SP2 over on DraftKings.
I mean, Philadelphia is not. They've been playing a lot better, but they've had some ups and downs. They're not, so I wouldn't be completely afraid to attack them.
4 Rays and 3 Yankees. Not bad. 4 Texas with an Aaron Judge, 1 off. This is I don't even need to look any further. You've got Luzardo, which is the chalk. You've got Texas. What's it? 2, 3, 4, 8. So it's 8, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good little wrap. 4, 9, 2, 4, 9, 9, 9, 2, 4. That's correlated in Tampa, and then Aaron Judge is a 1 off. I mean, come on. I might not touch that lineup. It might not be my favorite one of the batch, but I'm automatically, if I'm open-minded to whatever teams, don't care about what teams I'm using, that's a good-looking lineup.
I hand-built one while you were doing that, and I went, right now my pitcher is Slade, but I have Aranda, Junior, Josh Lowe, and Magnum for Tampa Bay, and then I threw in Jose Ramirez and Angel Martinez, 2-man, and then I have Corey Seager. So now I have 4,300 left for an outfielder, or upgrade my pitcher, and
Do you have somebody under 4,300 that you really, really like that would give you some salary to upgrade the pitcher?
Or for giggles, I'm going to throw in Luzardo. That leaves me 3,100 at outfield.
Now, I like how you left outfield because that gives you the most options.
Yeah.
3,100. Is that DraftKings or FanDuel?
That's FanDuel.
Then what we can do.
3,100 leaves you like Adelos Garcia. That's right there with Corey Seager. So I'd have like a 4-2-2.
Right.
Ramon Laureano, if I wanted to go with an Oriole. Miguel Vargas. And they're all like between 2 and 5 in the order. It's Colton Cowser, Lewis Robert, Quan, if I wanted, Chandler Simpson. Anybody you could want.
I can use the position tab in the research station and grab just the outfield, center field, left field, outfield, right field, whatever. Narrow it down to that. I can sort by FanDuel salary, top to bottom. And I can scroll down to 3,100, and then you can look at those. You said Adolis Garcia, that's fine. Quan, Calzer, Castellanos, if you're into Philly.
Quan, I would just have to lose a Quan I could do. Yeah, Quan I could do. I was thinking about Tampa Bay. I already have 4. I'd have to lose somebody.
Okay. Andy Pies out in Dodgerland. These are one-offs, so you definitely want power. That would lead me away from Quan. I mean, he's not the worst if it doesn't blow up the correlation of the rest of the lineup. But
I'd be looking at Nicky or probably Garcia.
Garcia in Texas is okay. Who else?
And if you scroll up to go down to Bradley to get $700, really doesn't accomplish shit.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't make maybe the overall lineup stronger.
Yeah. It doesn't get you to judge if you really want to judge, but you could go, if you wanted Schwarber, if you were that. But I mean,
that's how you would do it. I mean, you've got, Grisham in there a little bit. You got Gurriel a little bit over in Arizona if he's on, probably not on the FanDuel slate. Kepler, you're getting pretty dirty pretty quick. Scrolling down the list under 3,100 on FanDuel that isn't already correlated with somebody else. I'd stay as close to 3,100 as I could.
Yeah.
You might grab Abreu if you're not using 4 Boston. Josh Lowe would be okay, but you are using 4 Tampa. Luis Roberts been okay. Tauchman's got some power. Mullins steals the occasional base. Don't know if he will. Adolis Garcia might be your best option, honestly.
That would be where I would go, and then he's right there with Seager, 2-4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it mini stacks that. If you wanted some Philly exposure, Castellanos isn't too terrible. Yeah, you've definitely got options.
Yeah. So I got Luzardo, and I got a 4-2-2 with nobody batting. Everybody's between 2 and 6 in my lineup.
And that's good. That's strong. That's where most of the production comes from, night in and night out. So hopefully that gives everybody kind of an idea as to how they want to do that, and whether you hand build or use the optimizer. That's what those little green arrows are out there for, is to swap those guys in. You want to swap out your one-off. You don't want Aaron Judge. You want, Ohtani, or you don't want whatever. Yeah, you can do that for sure. Who they're asking for the juniors? What's up?
I was just going to say, kind of piggyback. When you run those lineups on the DS, and then, it spits out your 4-man Tampa stack, and you're like, well, I don't want, those guys. Then like you said, all right, here's the Tampa guys that I want in my stack. Now let me build my lineup around that.
And you could even go in and lock them as your 4 players. And then lock them in. Now your Tampa side is done. On the right side of the stacking machine, you include 3 or 4 other teams that you don't mind seeing it mix with. And then you leave the pitchers open. You don't lock a pitcher. You leave the pitchers open and say, well, mix and match the pitchers too, for all I give a shit.
Yeah.
You might even uncheck Luzardo in that case and be like, use any of the other guys, and we'll fade Luzardo since we're taking Tampa. But I want these 4 Tampa guys. In fact, why not? Who are your 4 favorite Tampa guys? Let's just do it.
Let me see.
So I'll show people how to do that too.
Oh,
I'm going to assume they're top of the order dudes. Diaz?
Yandy Diaz right there. Arenado. At least when FanDuel, you can play them both.
Right.
Who
else? Camarero?
I like Danny Jansen.
Okay. Well, that's going to go in the utility spot.
Yeah.
How about you at? You're at 2, 3, 7. That's your 4, your 3 dudes so far. Caminero, Simpson at the top. I mean,
Probably Caminero,
he'll pop. So let's just pretend these are the 4 guys that we love the most. These are the guys we've locked in. Everybody else, make sure we don't have any pitchers locked, right? Then we come up here. We don't need to worry about this bullshit anymore. All we really need to do is get the other team. So I would do – I don't know if the DS will force me to do this, but just in case, I'll just do 100% Tampa stack, and it'll hopefully pick up on those 4 locked dudes. Who do we want on that other side? I mean, they'll just keep any of these guys, right?
Yeah, any 2-man can go off.
And we're just going to let it eat.
Let her eat.
Number of players, first base, second, you can lock. You can only max 3 locks. All right. That seems odd to me, but whatever. I have obviously not played with that feature in a long, long time. Since he was the last one you mentioned, we'll unlock Caminero, and we'll see if that matters. This is going to be embarrassing. Yeah. The max number of players you can lock is 2. Is it just going to keep backing me down? Well, then here's what I would do. If you want to, the DS wants to throw me that FU, I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to light them up with projections. So it has to take them. Something like that. Now we'll try it. Boom. Those guys ought to be all in the core lineups. It's got them in 80%, close enough. 60%, 50%, whatever. I can go higher than that then. See, this is just part of the finagling sometimes you're just going to have to do.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to crank up their projection where it just can't leave them out.
Make it to where the DS cannot leave these guys out. It just can't.
Like, this guy is going to get 50 and he's 30.
So there. Now they're all in 60, 80% of lineups. Barring the 3 unique situation, that might be what's messing with this a little bit.
Could be, yeah.
But we're mixing and matching the Tampa guys with New York, Boston, Philly, Toronto, Texas. And we can just go scrolling through here. There's Max Fried. It's fine. There's your boys. There's your 3 Yankees with Brent Rooker as a one-off. The other thing that's getting me, honestly, is this much randomization.
Yeah.
Even at Jack, and I'd have to put him at 50 points or more, that much randomization, it still is pulling at 25%. It's taking that 20% projection and dropping it down to, 14, 15 points in some cases. And that might be enough that Aaron Judge goes from, 13 points or whatever to 20 points, and it throws everything off. These are just little things to know or little things to whatever. And it took Caballero in there. It's fine, whatever. There's 3 Phillies with Chisholm. But these are just other ideas at the way that you would make that work.
Yeah.
And you can put a pair of Yankees, Oakland, anybody with them. You can put the Lowe brothers in there together. It doesn't matter. DK lineup, come back Friday. We'll probably do it there, Peter. We do DK so much. I just wanted to focus on FanDuel today. Chuck's asking dinger of the day. Wait, let's do Don first with the average projection score. What do you look for in picking a team? I don't care. It's baseball.
No.
It isn't going to land on that projection regardless. I don't care. I'm trying to do what I think generates leverage and what I think doesn't duplicate other people and what I think has the best shots at being the top scorer on the night. Doesn't even have to be the nuts. It just has to be the top scorer on the night per the contest that I'm entering. I can get away with a far less sexy lineup if it's a smaller field. But if it's a large field, I'm just going to have to bink the nuts somewhere, and no projection is going to lead me to that. There's just no way. Who you got for dinger, buddy?
Yandy Diaz was my official dinger of the day. I really do like Danny Jansen to home run. And on an oddball, maybe Brian Rochero or whatever from Cleveland.
Is that going to be a bong hit parlay?
Probably.
How much do you put on those parlays when you do 3 dingers? It's like a tenth of a unit or something really small?
I put basically $10 on each one individually. Maybe $5 on the parlay or something like that.
Yeah, so something small so you don't get too
or I may just say, all right, $25 is what I'm going to spend. So let me make 3 even splits. Maybe $7, $7, $7, and $4 on the parlay or something like that. So whatever. Usually I try to, if one guy hits, I can make my money, break even.
Yeah, so you're looking at pricing, and that's how much you'd put on that guy to maybe generate the break even. It's kind of like a ladder strategy in a way.
Yeah. Like one guy hits, okay. 2 guy hits, all right. 3 guys, I'm rich, bitch.
I don't do a lot of sports betting, but when I do, I like to spread things out because the parlays don't ever seem to pay what the straight bets would. In a lot of cases, they kind of double juice the math. So if I do a parlay, like let's say I pick 3 or 4 winners that I like, this team, this team, this team, this team, whatever, or this homer, this homer, this homer, this homer. When I do, I'll usually put that tenth of a unit, that extra buck or a couple bucks or whatever on the parlay, and I just generally call it the slap and tickle.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick these 3 teams to win, and then I'm going to put $1 on the slap and tickle. Is the way I term it in my own head, and I always get a kick out of it when I sweep my bets and I get the slap and tickle. Of course, try and take that to the wife later tonight, and she always says no.
She just takes a slap.
She says, "Go slap yourself." I'm like, "Great, thanks." What else you got? Deep thoughts? Because I think we're done.
No, I'm pretty hungry.
All right, well, let's go eat. And everybody else, helmets up. Let's go eat on those leaderboards tonight. Let's take down a bunch of money. Hopefully this format helps. I don't know what those 2 guys are going to do for you on Friday. Come next Monday, we might do something similar. We might go back to the old format of talking pitchers, leverage stacks, whatever. You guys, feedback's everything. So you guys let us know either in the comments or in Discord or something. Let us know how you would guide that show. If you like this format or the other, or a mix and match. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get. And we will cater to you. Now, I will add this in with the MLB Live coupon, the 10% off for any membership during the show, of course. I'm going to add in that if you guys are NFL people, you want to pick up NFL year-round, the best discount we've got right now is NFL25. I'll even put the code in here in the comments. NFL25. Now, I would assume you guys are all VIPs, and you should be. But NFL25 is NFL only. And it opens up all the tools all year round, 12 months from the day you sign up. And it's right now generating $50 off the normal price. That's a pretty decent discount. So friends, don't let friends pay retail. Jump in there and use those coupon codes. What you got, buddy?
That helps me lead right into my first thing. Geek has me opening up sleeper $25. Super flex, best ball leagues. I put every time one fills, I open another one. So, look for those, join them. You can go in there. It's usually a couple coaches. It's probably always going to be me and Geek, and then, Bobby will jump in one, or Josiah, Drago. So you get to, battle some coaches, have a good time, And then I would be remiss since Raz does it for me every single video, check out the merch store.
I got to get in the habit of promoting your merch store. I always forget. There it is.
Get you some hoodies, get you some T-shirts, stickers. Go out there and show how proud you are that you're part of this community, and
Amen to that. Best community going. Hands down. I would never. I've been around a little bit to other places, never worked for anybody else, but wouldn't want to.
If I quit gambling, I would still want to be a part of this community.
100%.
I mean, it's just. Everybody is so supportive. I mean, any aspect of life, you're going to have dipshits, but I mean, they don't really seem to show their head much around in our community because they won't last long.
You know why that is? Yep. Our admins,
the members police themselves.
Our admins shoot to kill. We don't warn. We don't put a lot of people in timeout. We just flat out ban their ass and get them going. And that's what keeps that kind of a utopia. There's no real personal attacks. There's none of that stuff. So anyway, that is should be appealing to some people. Maybe you're just watching this show and never comment and never whatever. Man, that Discord community, it is not YouTube. You're not going to be brave.
And if they shit on you, they're going to get fucking attacked.
Yeah, absolutely. So in Discord, man, ask your questions. Get those coaches' attention and get yourself to a higher skill level, because that's why we exist. We've done it for so many people for so long. That's why we're a thriving community. It's just what we do. Awesome. Well, you guys have a good show on Friday. I will cut it here, and then we will see everybody again. I'll see everybody again Monday, but you guys
Friday, yeah.
Throw one up for me Friday, because I'll probably be on a boat somewhere out in the middle of the Lake of the Ozarks trying to throw 20-somethings off the inner tubes.
And y'all go. I'm not sure when it starts. He had a issue today, but Geek should be doing Draft-a-Palooza tonight. So
I might be doing it now. I saw it scheduled at 5 p.m., so he might be 20 minutes in.
Okay, he had mentioned 6, but then he said he could be late. So
okay, well then let's jump over there and let's see if we can find him.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll talk to you later. See you
later.
Oh shit! It's Chief ST, aka the Geek, and Kenyon McGee, DFS Army Players Club VIP. Motherfuckers, let's do this. Yo, me and my homies, we're tighter than a glove. We chop a lot of game, how we do it at the Players Club. Take the pool,
it's
or
awesome.
kick it in the tub, cause we kick much ass at the Players Club. It's time to kick it with the Army crew. VIP, you know how we do. Gonna smash the cop, make them look like bitches. In our pocket, we'll possess mad riches. Winning cash is our forte. When we smash that daily fantasy, gather that cream, gonna get a tune, living that dream, drinking Blue Moon. Yo, we make lineups differentiate between cash and GPP where we correlate. Ask me about the lineup, I'll say it looks great. All about that love, I ain't trying to hate. Yo, people ask what Bobby Wow would do. Fade the chalk, I unfriend you.